there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want,
No,
but
you said
the
it's
thing
silly.
is that it's only a small percent.
Well, why would that be silly if it's only a small percentage? It's only a small percentage of people who make the NBA. You wouldn't tell somebody it's silly for wanting to go to it.
No,
There's
but
only a
I would tell
small
somebody
percentage.
it's silly to put all your eggs.
But
I would say
why?
it's silly to put all your eggs in. I would say it's silly to put all your eggs in one basket and not make other preparations if you want to go to the NBA.
But the people who
So
made the
I would
NBA will tell you.
say
But the
it's silly
people
to
who
say, well, I'm going to the NBA and forget everything else and not make preparations to do other things. I would say
but
that's
the
silly.
people who made the NBA, they'll tell you they did put all their eggs in one basket. LeBron James said he used to play football, baseball, run track, and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what he ended up doing?
Mm-hmm.
Quitting all of them in order to play basketball. He put all of his eggs in one basket. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Allen Iverson did the same thing. The top.
You're pointing out the people.
Hmm? I'm saying the top.
I'm saying
1%,
that these are like the greatest people to ever do a thing.
Nikhil Alexander Walker. Every one of those NBA players, they put all their eggs in one basket. You think men wake up every day when they're children? You think little boys wanted to be thugs when they was little? These little motherfuckers were scared of scary movies. Then they saw the thug getting all the pussy, and guess what they started wanting to be? Go on.
Thugs. It's thugs. It's a.
Tell me at what point I'm telling a lie that men will, if they see that's what women want, men will do that.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not gonna argue with that.
Again, if women required men to have degrees, you got to have a bachelor to get this pussy. You know how many niggas will be on college campus right now?
But no argument there.
So then why do you think saying the women asking for men to make this much money would harm blacks?
Well, I'm not saying that it will harm blacks. What I'm saying is that there's individuals who don't make that type of money and are not in a trajectory to make that type of money.
And that's called life. I wouldn't tell my kids to not try and be, and that's called life. I wouldn't tell my kids to not try to be valedictorian because there's only one.
No, I'm not making that argument. That's education. No, we want to strive for stuff like that. But what I'm saying is
called a life partner. A life partner should be someone that if you're a woman and you have daughters, any man will tell you. And in most cultures, they used to have to make a man pay a dowry to that father to get his daughter. I don't want to take care of you no more, bitch. So what I would like for you to do is get a man that will. A father's main goal is to pass your ass off to another man.
The reason why it appears to be a bigger percentage because crazy behavior stands out.
Well, I want to point something out to you. See, that's where you're wrong. Did you not see that video I put of the black folks on the beach? Was it 40 to 50 of those black people that were doing nothing? Or was it the entire crowd damn near that was doing something? When you see those fights at the restaurant, is it one person doing it or is it a group of them?
It's a group.
Yes.
It's a group. But
so
that's the group of the bullshit.
You said you'll see that one person. But you said you'll see that one person doing it and the rest of the people just sitting there. No. When you see it with black folks, it's a gang of them doing exactly the same damn thing. For some odd reason, black people are real easy to mob ratchet mentality. If a bitch gets up and starts twerking, you didn't see that thing where all those women were twerking at that bus stop so much that the bus stop thing fell down and fell off. This is one of black bitches doing this. It's not
those
one
bus stop people.
Huh?
Those are bus stop people.
I've been at a bus stop. My daughter was just at a bus stop and rode the train.
Yeah.
You're saying because those people, right? So why is it that the white folks at the bus stop aren't doing that? They're just waiting on the bus.
I'm sure if you go to some trailer park or some meth capital, it's some bullshit behavior going on, man.
Look at what you just said. Listen to what he said. Some trailer park or meth capital. So you gotta go to a trailer park or a meth capital. But let me tell you, riding a bus isn't a trailer park or a meth capital. People in New York, people in Atlanta ride these things all the time, and they're very professional as they do them. Suits and ties. Well, I'm listening to you compare regular workaday, everyday blacks to crackheads.
And what I'm saying is that the people twerking,
and you still find more videos of regular, everyday, workaday blacks doing the shit than crackhead whites.
I think that if you take videos and YouTube videos or whatever and use that to represent an entire group of people, I don't think that's reasonable. I was joking when I said those bus stop people, because I've spent some time on the bus myself, and
you sure did sweep them.
But all I'm saying is this represents a particular minority of our community, and when we see it over and over and over again, we tend to think that represents the whole. I just don't like the idea of the negative part of our community representing the entire community. That's my overall thing.
I get it. And when I asked you simply, I said, what do you have to prove this? First thing you said was, well, when you see these fights, you'll see a one person fighting, but 40 people not. And I pointed to you, that's actually usually not true. You see a gang of them fighting. It always starts with one person fighting. It always leads to all of them fighting. It was a video where they stood around and said, let these two girls fight. By the end of it, they all were fighting and one got shot. They could have just let those two girls fight. Like, I wasn't somebody sent me a video of the two white girls fighting at a graduation. They were like, it's just like the black one. Well, the difference is that the graduation where the two white girls were fighting, it was just two white girls fighting. Everybody was trying to separate them. The graduation where the black girls were fighting, everybody with a cap and gown started fighting.
Yeah, but these are specific instances. I'm talking more in a general sense. If you have like what it used to be, it's not so much, it's a little gentrified now. But Detroit used to be like 90% black. And the thing is that Detroit got represented as this drug dealing, crazy, dangerous place or whatever. And as a person that lives there, these individuals that participate in this activity are a minority. The rest of the people is just going to work, taking care of their business. And so that minority tends to represent the whole. And I think that we are the only community that happens to. When it happens in a white community, it's just that person. But when it's in the black community, that represents all of them.
Because when you see in the black community, like with all of that dancing at the graduation, this became a nationwide thing of niggas doing this. Niggas didn't condemn it. I asked you earlier, if you don't condemn the charge, then that means you accept the charge. Why is it that only time black folks want to say it's not all of us is when someone says, I saw y'all doing this? But when they saw us doing it, when they say things like that's the culture, because that's a word Negroes came up with to describe that we as blacks all do this. You can get told by black people if you don't do something and you black, they're going to say you ain't black.
In certain situations, yes.
So why is it that, again, we can do that to each other and no one says a word? You don't see nobody defend when they tell the nigga that he don't eat no collard greens, he ain't black. You don't see them defend the nigga that doesn't speak Ebonics. They say he's not black. You don't see them defend him. You don't see them defend him and say, we are a diverse group of people. Why would you say he got to be this way? We are diverse.
I agree. We are diverse. But
then why is it that we are the main ones who pigeonhole each other?
We pigeonhole each other because we are a minority within a country. And we do have a subculture within this country. And we do have to protect certain parts of our culture. Now, the negativity stuff, I think we should point that stuff out and say, hey, this is not acceptable. But like as far as our food, whatever, other parts of our culture, I think we should safeguard our culture and we should promote our culture.
Wait. So we gotta protect having a name like Jamar Quavius, because if your name is Chris, Chad, or Tom, you got a white name. We should protect that.
Okay. I got it's if you knew my real name, I got one of the whitest names you can ever have. And the thought process is, and I remember being young, and I wanted a name like Kaleem and whatever. Like I wanted one of those. Like I was, I'm like, why is your name this? She said, I want you to be able to get a job. And I want you to have an opportunity when they see your resume that you have an opportunity to sit in the seat and they have a chance to meet you and you have an opportunity to get the job.
When what she should have done was protect the culture.
I'm sorry?
When what she should have done is protect the culture and give you a name like Jabari.
But the thing is that shouldn't you be able to name your child whatever you want to?
Well, that's what I was just
we're talking about this specifically.
But yes, that's what I was just advocating. That you should be able to name your child whatever you want to. And yet, Black folks are the first ones to tell you about what you named your child.
I haven't had that experience. I'm not going to discount yours, but like,
why is it that you feel like you wish you had one of those names? Then where did that come from? Who told you this?
Because I was a child, and as a child, you view things in a childish manner, and I thought the unique name was cool.
Unique.
I have a very common name. Like my name is very common.
I understand. But you also thought you had a white name, and you also was told this because you didn't think it was white until you were told that. Just like I didn't think I was dark until I was told that. And the people who are telling us whites, because when your name is Chad and you Black, white people don't walk up to you and say, you got a white name. Your name is just Chad. They're actually glad your name is Chad because it's easier for them to read on the first day of school. They're glad your name is Chad because they don't have to fuck it up when they say it.
When just as a thing, like you did state earlier that you said Black people in America are not a monolith, and I do agree with you, right? And the culture, the Detroit culture that I came from, it was somewhat of a revolutionary attitude. And so the idea of having a white name was considered negative because we viewed
that's all I'm saying.
Parts of our culture.
You're just
I'm just saying some parts of our culture view white people as enemies.
I understand. You're still just proving my point. No matter why I beat that bitch ass, if you said I beat that bitch ass, I still beat that bitch ass. The why did not change that I beat that bitch ass. It may have made you feel not as bad about it, but her ass was still beat. And all I was pointing out was you learned that your name was white from Black folks, not from white folks.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that point.
Right. So I'm saying the group that should want to be more diverse is the one that's pushing other Blacks to these damn generalizations, as you say, where they're being pushed towards them. The little Black girl, and my daughter talks about this, who doesn't have the nice silky weave on and who doesn't know how to twerk and who doesn't have the tattoos is not looked at as authentic. My daughter said that a Black dude in her high school told her that she was whitewashed because of how she talks.
Yeah.
You know,
I know about that part.
So again,
our culture isn't, perfect.
So what I'm saying though is if Blacks generalize themselves, they can't get mad at somebody else for doing it. When they see a Black girl shaking her head, they don't say that's a stereotype. They say that's what we expect. That's a real sister right there. They're proud of her for acting out the stereotype. Sir, they are. You've never seen
I'm not.
mad at. Show me some black women mad at Jasmine Crockett. Then show me something that's mad at Jasmine Crockett for continuing to get on television and cuss.
I'm mad, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? And as far as, of course not. And as far as the video
about them, because it's making them look bad. Just like when black people do black things and we sit up there and encourage it, it's making us look bad and it's hurting us. So every time that black women wanted something to not look a certain way in a year, what percentage, since you asked me what percentage of black women do I think are ratchet, what percentage of cops do you think are abusive to blacks?
Never. What, 5 to 10%, maybe?
Mm-hmm. A complete minority ended up having a whole nationwide riots.
Well, I think the marches was more so of a thing where it was black people getting killed and the police weren't even being indicted. And so it wasn't even a thing where they were even being held accountable for what was going on. And we was able to see it now. And in the black community, we have been saying since forever, hey, man, these police treat us differently. And nobody believed us. And then when we start seeing it on camera, it was like, oh, this is happening. But then those people,
these police treat us differently. That 5%.
I think that was the main.
Wait. That 5%
problem that was going on. They were not being accountable.
Hold on. That 5% treats us differently. We're talking about thinking. So both of us are just talking about what's on our minds, what we might think. Well, I know when I go to Chick-fil-A and I got white people serving me, the white people are generally very nice. I know when I go to a black place, what is just black women serving me? The black women are generally not. I know when I watch these videos that we see online, these cam videos, the black women immediately get defensive and argumentative with the police, even when they're being nice. Now, you've seen way too many black women being addressed in a normal manner, and they cussing out the cop, fighting the cop, then telling the cop what they ain't gonna do, where they ain't gonna go. So when you say so-and-so is being treated differently, that's like me saying the women treat those guys differently than me. And somebody watches the tape and say, well, you calling them bitches and hoes as soon as you walk up to them. He's not.